Game jams. I love them. Since my first game jam last year, I participated in 3 in total. And the 4th one is already on the horizon. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. On March 14, I participated in my 3rd game jam, called the PULS Game Jam. The very first game jam hosted by the German public broadcasting network ARD, or more specifically by PULS, which is a media service by Bavarian broadcaster Bayrischer Rundfunkt that is part of ARD. And I wanted to be a part of this historic event. So what was the schedule for this event? On March 14, 7 PM CET, the theme would be announced on stream and all the participants would have 48 hours to create a game that incorporates that theme. And after that, we would have 2 days to play and rate the other games. And the top 20 best games would then be rated by an official jury of the PULS Game Jam for a chance to win up to 2,500 euros from the cash prize pool. So how did I do? Did I place in the top 20? Let's find out. It's Friday, 7 PM CET, and after 1 hour of the PULS livestream, the theme was finally revealed. Kaputt is German for broken or tired or exhausted. And my brain thought, I'm going to incorporate that theme to myself. You see, my first game jam was 7 days long, my second even 14, and now with only 2 days here, I was slightly overwhelmed in my creative process. And since my brain apparently took the theme too serious, I took a break and decided to call it a day. WarioWare! That's it! I'll make a WarioWare-Styled game! If you don't know what WarioWare is, WarioWare are a series of games made by Nintendo starring Wario. A WarioWare game contains a collection of various microgames. These are games that have a simple mechanic and are so short that they can be completed in mere seconds. Or more like, you have to beat them in mere seconds. The appeal is to beat many games back to back in quick succession, which will create a kind of flow state for the player. Combine that with charming visuals and you have a recipe for success. So the idea for my jam game was to just implement some simple mechanics like click on things, click and hold on things, and click and drag things, and create as many microgames as I can until the deadline. For visuals, I chose to draw all the assets, but in a simple style, since I don't have much time. So I use stick figures, simple drawn objects, and a bird. To implement the theme, each level revolves around fixing things that are kaputt, starting with the title of the game, which will also be the first level, Puttcut. Puttcut is a kaputt version of kaputt. So in order to continue the game, the player has to unkaputt the title by making it spell kaputt. So when it's kaputt, it's not kaputt anymore. Okay, now that I know what I want to do, let's start creating the game. First, I drew the storyboard of the game containing all the levels that I wanted to create and their solution. The idea was to design each level in a manner that is easy to understand so that you can solve it in less than 10 seconds. After that, I headed into Unity to first create all the mechanics I needed for each microgame. For example, to click and drag an object, I wrote a draggable script that I attached to each sprite I want to be able to drag across the screen. Then, level for level, I drew all the sprites I needed and then built the level. Normally, when creating games, I first create a level using placeholder drawings. But since here the final drawings themselves are pretty simple, I mostly skipped the placeholder part. Then I implemented a timer for each level that when it runs out, it will restart the whole game. And on Sunday, around 6 AM, I had a fully playable game from start to finish. Yes! And how many levels or microgames did I create? 5, also counting the title screen. Well, more levels would be better, but hey, let's take what we have and let's concentrate on finishing and polishing the game. Now all that's missing is a little bit of more eye candy, some bug fixes, music, sound effects, and a thank you for playing screen at the end. And I'm done. Alright, so let's do this. I wanted to continue right away, but I realized that I could not concentrate anymore. Everything I did took 3 times as much time than normal. So I decided to take a quick 1-hour power nap just to refresh my system a bit. And since the deadline is in 12 hours, I have plenty of time to finish the rest. So, see you in an hour. Okay, after a much needed hour of sleep, I continued to finish the game. First, I created a thank you for playing screen. Then I fixed some bugs I had on my to-do list. After that, to make our visuals feel more dynamic, I create wiggly animated drawings. A technique I also use for my YouTube videos. To create this effect, I drew each sprite 3 times and then create an animation out of it. And because I don't redraw each sprite exactly the same, it creates this wiggly effect. Now with that, everything looks a lot more charming. Then I added some music. If you see my previous Game Jam video, then you probably realized that I already used this song in my first Game Jam game. I initially used it here as a placeholder while searching for other songs, but then it kinda grew on me again, so I kept it. And then finally, I added some sound effects.
Nice!
And I'm done. The game is finished. Now I just needed to upload it, create a submission page and a thumbnail, and I'm finally done. And hey, I still have 35 minutes left. Nice, better than in my first game jam. And as a bonus, I'm not too exhausted. I must say, this 1 hour of sleep was really a lifesaver. Alright, but now that that's finished, let's play and review some games. I always love this part in game jams, playing the other games and giving the creators some feedback. It's so much fun to see what creative ideas others came up with. And especially here, it's incredible to see what awesome games others can create in just 48 hours. But now, the moment of truth. What rank did I achieve? I'm ranked 39 out of 164 entries. Not bad. Sure, I would have loved to get into the top 20 and get to the next round, but the competition was pretty tough. So maybe next time. Congratulations to everyone who got into the top 20. From all the games I've played to reach the top 20, I can say you truly deserve the recognition. And thank you everyone who played my game and rated and commented it during the rating period of the jam. I really appreciate you all. And also, thank you for your constructive feedback. I was really happy to read that many of you enjoyed my game, but also where you got stuck or what I could improve. And thank you all for watching this video. If you liked it, then why not leave a thumbs up and maybe subscribe for more tutorials and game dev related content. And also, it would really make me happy if you would check out Putcard for yourself and give me your honest opinion on the game. And I hope to see you all again in my next video. So until then, ciao. Another game jam in the bag! And I'm really excited for the next one. But until then, if you'd like to see more game jam content, then why not check out my video on how I survived my first game jam here. Or if you're interested in some Unity tutorials I made, then I have the right playlist waiting for you here. Okay, thanks again for watching and have a great day. Bye bye!